The day after a woman is hit and killed while walking along US 127, her husband is trying to raise money for her funeral. A man who faces a long list of charges, including attempted murder of a police officer, faced a judge for the first time this morning since he was arrested.
The couple that was killed by terrorists in Brussels is home again. Coming up, we'll show you the heartfelt tribute for Justin and Stephanie Schultz at the Bluegrass Airport.
This is WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. I'm Barbara Bailey.
I'm Bill Bryant. Here's what's happening at noon on this Monday. A man is behind bars this afternoon. He's accused of killing a mother of 4 in a hit-and-run crash. Matthew Warner is charged with leaving the scene of an accident and tampering with physical evidence. Deputies say Heather Lawrence was hit by a truck while crossing US 127 near Highway 1160.
WKYT's Sean Moody has the latest on the investigation. It's our top story at noon.
The Mercer County Sheriff said his deputies are taking their time with this investigation, not rushing anything. He said investigators were back out here this morning to take a look at the spot where they say Heather Lawrence was killed. Deputies arrested Matthew Warner yesterday afternoon. The sheriff said Warner was driving the truck that hit and killed Lawrence along US 127 early Sunday morning. Warner is charged with leaving the scene of an accident and tampering with physical evidence. Sheriff Ernie Kelty said after the incident, Warner abandoned the truck in a driveway a few miles away and had someone else reported stolen to Harrodsburg police. Sheriff Kelty said the people living in the home where the truck was found called it into dispatch, and the investigation went on from there. Heather Lawrence was married to Carl Lawrence, and the couple had 4 children. Carl said yesterday that Heather had walked out of the house after a fight early Sunday morning, and he said he found her lying in the road not long after. It's devastated the family and shaken people all across the county.
You know, I've already been approached this morning from folks that knew both the victim's family and Mr. Warner's family, you know, and people are concerned both ways. I mean, you know, just in small communities, when you have something like this happen, it affects a lot of folks in a lot of ways.
Carl Lawrence has started an online fundraiser to try and raise some money for his wife's funeral. You can find a link to that website at WKYT.com. In Mercer County, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Sean, thank you. And Warner declined our request for an interview from the Boyle County Detention Center. Investigators have identified a young man who was killed in a Lexington crash this weekend. The Fayette County coroner says 22-year-old Robert Nick Rucker of Nicholasville was in the passenger seat of a car that crashed on 8th and Boonesboro Road yesterday. He was ejected and died at the scene. The driver was also injured and was taken to UK hospital. Speed was reportedly a factor in that crash. No word if the driver will face any charges.
Well, it is a chilly start to the work week here in the Bluegrass, but it's only going to get cooler, maybe colder even, as we head into the overnight hours with the freeze warning in effect. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is live with that.
Yeah, you're not going to feel it during the daylight hours, but once we hit the nighttime hours, off into the overnight hours, like Bill was just talking about, here comes that cold air filtering on in. And I'm not saying cool air, cold air. Here comes a freeze warning in effect overnight in through tomorrow morning. You can see the front is getting a little bit closer. Actually, this is actually rain out ahead of that, but the front's just to the north of us. Like I said, during the daylight, you won't feel the difference of temperatures, the difference of air. You're going to see a couple of showers here and there. Evening and night, it clears on out, and then that cooler air really slides on in here. A freeze warning in effect for virtually all locations, except for down far south and southwest. It goes through tomorrow morning. We're going to be focusing in on that, and not just that, but maybe even a few flakes in the forecast. It's coming up.
Micah, we'll see in just a little bit with that. The family of a Lexington native who was killed in last month's terror attack in Belgium is expected to make funeral plans later today. Stephanie Schultz's family says the bodies of her and her husband Justin are now back here in the U.S. WKYT's Mark Barber shows us the heartfelt tribute they received when they returned home.
Stephanie and Justin Schultz came home last night. When their bodies came in on a flight at the Bluegrass Airport, they were given a hero's welcome by the Lexington Police Department and the Patriot Guard. In a touching tribute, Patriot Guard riders and officers escorted the bodies to the Kerr brothers' funeral home. The flags and salutes, all to honor the innocent couple killed by the evils of terrorism. Today, their families will start planning their funerals. While they're still ironing out the details, the family thinks there will be a combined service for Justin and Stephanie in Lexington, and then they will both be buried here. Stephanie was a graduate of Bryan Station High School and Transylvania University. She met her husband Justin while they were studying at Vanderbilt University in Nashville. They moved to Brussels on a 3-year work program as accountants. They were waiting in the departure gate, saying goodbye to Stephanie's mother when the bombs went off. Now their families are preparing to say their final goodbyes to Stephanie and Justin. They don't think their funeral services will be held here at the Kerr Brothers Funeral Home because so many people will want to be a part of the service. They're still trying to decide whether the ceremony will be public or private. In Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you. And Justin's family is planning to hold another funeral service for him in Tennessee. That will be on April 10th.
The case against a man who's facing charges in several counties is moving forward here in Lexington. David Suarez was arrested last week during a traffic stop. He was wanted on drug charges in Lexington and attempted murder of a police officer in Garrett County. WKYT's Mike Byer is outside the Fayette County Court complex now with more from today's hearing. Mike?
David Suarez met with a judge for the first time this morning since he was arrested last week. Suarez, also known as Drummer Dave, wasn't in the courtroom for very long. His preliminary hearing lasted only minutes before a judge waived his case to a grand jury. This after last week when Lexington Police and the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force arrested the 38-year-old. Investigators were able to collect information that led them to Suarez, who was pulled over by police on Manowar Boulevard near Clearwater Way. After the traffic stop, police found heroin, methamphetamine, a large amount of cash, and a loaded handgun on Suarez. The search for the 38-year-old stemmed from an investigation that started in December of 2015 when a search warrant was executed at his residence. There, officers found methamphetamine, heroin, pills, marijuana, and drug paraphernalia, according to a release. Suarez now faces 2 counts of trafficking in methamphetamine, trafficking in heroin, 2 counts of possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of marijuana, and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon. U.S. Marshals also served Suarez with warrants out of Garrett County for attempted murder of a police officer, fleeing or evading police, leaving the scene of an accident, trafficking in a controlled substance, wanton endangerment, and burglary. Now Suarez is currently being held at the Fayette County Jail. In Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Now, U.S. Marshals also served Suarez with a warrant out of Jessamine County for parole violation. Lexington police will soon join several other Kentucky police departments in using body cameras. The department launched its pilot program at the end of 2014. Last year, Mayor Jim Gray included $600,000 in his budget to fund the cameras, but the department didn't start using them right away. Lieutenant Eric Lowe says they took time to test different cameras and to develop and tweak their policy. They also visited other departments in hopes of learning from their mistakes.
One of the reasons we've taken the time that we have with making this decision is that we understand that the importance and the scale of what we're entering into with body cameras. We are going to be recording and storing initially tens of thousands of videos, could be hundreds of thousands of videos as time goes on. We've got to make sure that we pick the right vendor from the beginning.
Tonight on WKYT News at 6, hear more about how they plan to use those cameras.
This is going to be a very carefully watched week at the state capitol. Kentucky's Attorney General says Governor Matt Bevin has until Friday to restore cuts to higher education or face a lawsuit. Last week, through executive order, Governor Bevin slashed funding to higher education by 4.5%. But Attorney General Andy Beshear says Bevin's move is illegal since the state is not facing a declared budget shortfall. Meanwhile, lawmakers in Frankfort are still trying to work out a 2-year budget over the next couple of years. There is just one legislative day left in this session to do that. That's coming up on April 12th. So we'll see if people get to talking.
Yes.
Right. Well, a new baby gorilla at the Louisville Zoo is starting to get used to her new surroundings.
The nearly 3-week-old baby girl is now living in the gorilla forest. Her mother died after delivery following an emergency C-section. So now the zoo is looking for a surrogate mother. So far, the baby does not have a name.
But it's very sweet, as you can see.
Very cute. Yes.
Coming up, tomorrow's Wisconsin primary expected to play a critical role in the race for the White House. We'll take you out on the campaign trail with the candidates. It's coming up on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
Also ahead, Kentucky native Chris Stapleton has solidified himself as a staple in country music after a big night at the ACM Awards. Find out how many trophies he took home. Next on WKYT.
There are two sides to every story, and police hope body cameras will tell theirs. Why this little device is so important in keeping the peace between you and law enforcement. The truth about body cams, tonight at 6 on WKYT. Kentucky mornings start here. Breaking and overnight news, weather to plan your day, plus traffic you can take with you. Make WKYT This Morning part of your Kentucky morning. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7 on WKYT.
If your home or business has suffered damages due to storms, fire, water, or theft, we have an experienced team that can help you with your insurance claim. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Hey, Bill, you got a cough this winter?
May I suggest?
Tough Love. Mentholyptisols with big-time cooling flavor.
Or Soft Love. Milder flavored honey halls with real honey.
Tough Love.
Soft Love.
Get the love you love.
Hey, where are you going? We've got that thing. You know, diarrhea, abdominal pain. But we said we'd be there. Who makes the decisions around here? It's me. Don't think I'll make it. Stomach again. Send.
If you're living with frequent, unpredictable diarrhea and abdominal pain, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with diarrhea or IBS-D, a condition that can be really frustrating. Talk to your doctor about new Viberzi, a different way to treat IBS-D. Viberzi is a prescription medication you take every day that helps proactively manage both diarrhea and abdominal pain at the same time, so you stay ahead of your symptoms. Viberzi can cause new or worsening abdominal pain. Do not take Viberzi if you have or may have had pancreas or severe liver problems, problems with alcohol abuse, long-lasting or severe constipation, or a blockage of your bowel or gallbladder. If you're taking Viberzi, you should not take medicines that cause constipation. The most common side effects of Viberzi include constipation, nausea, and abdominal pain. Stay ahead of IBS-D with new Viberzi.
I'm a policeman with the Versailles Police Department, trying to help someone across the street. Car hit me, and then I had 3 surgeries. They said I had to be 100% in order to return to work, but I wasn't, so I had to retire. I couldn't ask for better help than I did get from Becker Law. A friend of mine called me a couple of months ago, and she needed an attorney, and I said, well, call Becker Law offices.
Call the Becker Law office. Just dial 3s.
Have something that needs investigating? Email us or call the WKYT Investigates tip line.
Welcome back to WKYT News at noon. Democrats and Republicans are focusing their attention now on Wisconsin.
And voters will be going to the polls tomorrow there. Their ballots could have a major impact on which candidates eventually win the presidential nominations. Craig Boswell has a report from the campaign trail.
The race for the Republican presidential nomination goes through Wisconsin tomorrow.
Tuesday is a decision point that resonates in Wisconsin and resonates across the country.
The latest CBS News Battleground Tracker poll shows Ted Cruz with a lead over Donald Trump in the state. Wisconsin could go a long way in determining if anyone gets the 1,237 delegates needed to clinch the nomination before the convention.
It'll matter not just who wins Wisconsin, but how they win.
There are 18 delegates awarded to the statewide winner and 3 delegates to the winner of each congressional district. Donald Trump insists he'll do well in Wisconsin, but says he would do even better if John Kasich would just drop out.
The problem is he's in the way of me, not Cruz.
Kasich says he'll win the nomination at the convention.
The Democratic race for delegates is much clearer, with Hillary Clinton maintaining a big lead over Bernie Sanders, who's looking for his 4th win in a row tomorrow.
And I hope very much that this great state comes out and says, yes, we are going forward with a political revolution.
Sanders has a slim lead in Wisconsin in the CBS News poll, but it's within the margin of error. Clinton is campaigning in New York, which votes 2 weeks from tomorrow. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
Now, Clinton has a 10-point lead in New York in the latest CBS News Battleground Tracker poll. It also has nearly 3 times as many delegates as Wisconsin. Well, Amtrak says it is operating on a normal schedule today between Philadelphia and Wilmington, Delaware, after a deadly train derailment there yesterday. 2 Amtrak workers were killed and more than 30 passengers were injured when a train from New York to Savannah, Georgia, slammed into equipment on the tracks. That crash comes less than a year after another deadly Amtrak derailment in Philadelphia that killed 8 people. Well, the best in country music were honored at the 51st Annual Academy of Country Music Awards in Las Vegas, and it was a big night for Kentucky native Chris Stapleton.
Oh boy, that it was. Stapleton took home 4 trophies, including Male Vocalist of the Year, Song of the Year for Nobody to Blame, and Album of the Year for Traveler. Jason Aldean won the night's top award, the coveted Entertainer of the Year. Female Vocalist of the Year went to Miranda Lambert for a record 7th consecutive year. She also won Vocal Event of the Year with Little Big Town.
I'm Phil Pendleton in Adair County at 12:30. The latest on a townhome fire that resulted in the discovery of a woman's body in the ruins.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. WKYT.
With more selection and savings, you can stop and smell more roses at Meijer.
Everyone is singing praises about essential oils and trying to make their home free of toxic chemicals. Get the facts yourself and learn how Young Living essential oils can help support your family's health and well-being. Visit justonedrop.com for more information and local classes.
What's up with your game?
No game today. I blew my knee out at work.
That is a pretty bad limp. What you do about it?
I did the smart thing. I called Legal Options.
Legal Options? I heard about them.
Yeah, they get it done when it comes to accidents and things like that. They're the experts.
If you've been seriously injured, you've got options. Call Legal Options at 1-800-777-7774.
Legal Options, huh? I remember that.
I'm getting fired up for Golden Corral's new Fired Up Favorites. They're launching flavor to a whole new level. I'm heading there now. It's endless baby back ribs, wings, and tenders, and bold new flavors like mango habaneros, sriracha, garlic parmesan, and classic buffalo. All for one low price. Rough flight, great landing. Fired Up Favorites only at Golden Corral, the best buffet in the USA.
You spent this winter shivering inside your own home, and this summer you'll be sweating. Enough is enough. Your home needs a champion. Champion windows keep you comfortable year-round. Recommended by over 40,000 previous customers. Guaranteed for life. And right now, get 30% off Champion windows or pay no interest for 60 months. So call 888-4CHAMPION today for 30% off new windows. Every home needs to be comfortable. Every home needs a champion.
Sawyer, you're in.
Me?
Yeah, playing shortstop. Hey, ball.
With more selection and savings, you get more brushes with glory at Meijer.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on Rewind 105.5. Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
It's a really nice start to the day, but now the clouds are filtering overhead. The reason why the clouds are doing that, we have some rain out and about. First Alert Defender Radar Network. It's a broken line of very light showers. Some of us are getting some heavier downpours back towards, say, Boyd County and make your way up toward Greenup County. Those areas really getting in on the mix now in Carter County. But other than that, there's just light rain moving through. It's not going to really put a damper on your day. You'll get some light showers. They'll last about 5-10 minutes, and then they'll be long gone. So that is the look across the region. Like I said, the heavier downpours anywhere from Moorhead and make your way back toward the east. rolling through Carter County, and that's the way it's going to go through the next hour or so. That's the best area that we could pick up some heavier downpours is back toward the east. But really, the energy is just not there. This isn't a very potent system. We have 53 in Covington, 61 in Lexington, and then look at this. Still down south, it's still a beautiful day. 68 degrees right now in Wayne County. So it all depends on where you are, but that cooler air is filtering on in. And we're going to feel that as we go off into the evening and into the night. There's 8 p.m., roughly 50 degrees here in Lexington. As that cooler air rushes on in. Not only that, but those winds will be cranked up 15 to 25 miles per hour from now through about 8 or 9 p.m. So if you're heading out to dinner, kids coming home from school, yeah, here comes some gusty winds, some cooler air starting to filter on in. But we get overnight into tomorrow morning. The kids going to school tomorrow morning is going to be totally different than kids going to school this morning. Reason being, you will need a heavy coat for those kiddos. If you've already put them up in the attic, you might want to bring them back down. We're at 28 degrees there in Lexington, upper 20s there in the Bluegrass. You go down south, this is the area where we're not looking at temperatures to get right there at 32 degrees or below. It should be just above that, but the rest of us, no doubt about it, we're going to be being right around freezing, and that's why you have that freeze warning in effect for most locations except for the areas down south and southwest where we do expect those temperatures to just be above that freezing spot. So yeah, the freeze warning, that's what a lot of us are talking about. Not only that, that's for tomorrow morning, remember, through 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Not only that, but look at your 7-day forecast. It's pretty active. Now tomorrow, the activity is about the morning. It's really not much going on during the day, but it's cold tomorrow morning, freezing below that. And then Wednesday, a few rumbles of thunder, no severe weather expected. And then we hit Friday, guys. It was the opening day of Keeneland. And not only that, but very cold air and also maybe even some snow moving on in.
Dress accordingly.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know?
People will still be there, but dress accordingly.
Yeah, right.
That's all.
Exactly.
Today's opening day for the Reds. You know, you got your red on, right?
That's right.
And,
big game.
Good. We're coming back in just a moment. Dire predictions aside, the Reds are set to open a brand new season today.
And the Derby favorite has arrived in the Bluegrass. Dave Baker's next with sports.
Let's check stocks as we head into the afternoon trading. The major market indicators are down just a bit.
CBS Tonight.
When you not do dangerous, when you calculations.
It ain't easy.
What are you doing? You just hanging around?
Getting a little dizzy here.
Being a genius.
Remember when you called me a nerd before? Get ready to apologize. Wait for it. What's the point in us if we don't protect the world?
I support you, and together we make this work.
Word's gone around how professional we are.
Welcome to Scorpion, everyone. Scorpion, CBS Tonight, or stream it live or on demand.
What's behind your Murphy door?
A game room, office, playroom, or valuables. The Murphy door holds up to 300 pounds and is completely functional even when the shelves are full. All Murphy doors feature a patented hinge or roller system that's backed by a lifetime warranty, providing you functional space and peace of mind for years to come. Build your Murphy door online today or visit our new showroom in Lexington, now located on Fortune Drive. Visit themurphydoor.com. Use promo code LEX5 to receive 5% off.
And hopefully this check will make things a lot easier. It'll cover your medical bills, and we've even given you an allowance to help cover your expenses while your car's getting worked on. All you need to do is sign right here, and we'll take care of everything else.
Thank you so much.
What's a smiling cheater?
Jay Marshall, a smiling cheater is still a cheater.
If you want to make sure you get all your money, you better call Hughes & Coleman.
Call 800-800-4600.
Kentucky has lots of counties and miles of roads. And in every county, there's a Kentucky Farm Bureau agent looking out for folks when they're on the road. When you're in Kentucky, you're never far away from Kentucky's own property and casualty insurer. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Dad, it's your COPD, isn't it?
Yeah. I really need to focus on it more.
If you're a current or former smoker living with COPD and have a history of heart disease, stroke, or other cardiovascular risk factors, you might qualify for the ASCENT study. For more information and to see if you may qualify, call 844-880-COPD or visit AscentCOPDstudy.com.
Hi, I'm Brian, and I buy houses in the Lexington area.
No more stress. I can buy your house as is and we'll close professionally with a Lexington attorney. You can get all cash, immediate debt relief, and peace of mind. Call me at 859-278-HELP or go to 278help.com.
Do you want to lose weight quickly and safely? Do you want to be healthy for a lifetime? Kim did and lost 238 pounds at Ageless Medical Weight Loss. Betty did and lost 135 pounds. The Ageless program is a medically supervised, affordable weight loss solution. Call today for a free consultation.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. Follow WKYT on Twitter.
Last year, thoroughbred racing and really the entire sports world was captivated by American Pharoah, but with Keeneland opening this Friday, can we once again ask, is another super horse on the way? Less than 24 hours after winning the Florida Derby, Nyquist landed in Lexington yesterday in preparation for his next race, the Kentucky Derby. Nyquist arrived at Keeneland about 3, where he'll remain until the week of the Derby. He is undefeated, winning all 7 of his starts, and is the heavy early favorite to wear the roses.
I think it would be great for the sport to see another horse pop up and do something like American Pharoah did, that I think he's got a long way to go before he's an American Pharoah, but if we can follow in his footsteps, it would be quite cool.
Jack's not from here if you couldn't figure it out. 19-year-old basketball recruit Thon Maker has announced that he'll attempt to skip college and enter the NBA draft. The 7-footer went to high school in the United States, graduated last June. He's challenging a rule that states a player is eligible for the NBA draft until they're at least 19 during the calendar year of the draft, and at least one NBA season has elapsed since the player's graduation from high school. It'll be up to the NBA to determine his eligibility. That's something Cal has said all along. And opening day, well, it's something special in Cincinnati, even when the Reds are awful, which is exactly what they'll be for this afternoon's 4 p.m. opener against the Phillies. On Saturday, Cincinnati wrapped up spring training with an exhibition game against the Pirates at Victory Field in Indianapolis. The Reds have a young roster, particularly in the pitching rotation. About half of them are on the disabled list now, and there is much for this team to prove this season.
We're chomping at the bit, I mean, we haven't had a lot of great reviews in the offseason. We understand that. We understand where we are as an organization. It doesn't mean that we've lowered our expectations to go out there and compete in the division and not just play hard, but win games and kind of introduce a young group, especially a young group of pitchers, to the major leagues and get them acclimated to pitching here and rebuilding that pitching staff.
We've got to get them healthy to do that. Tonight on the Big Blue Insider with Dick Gabriel, Morehead State coach Sean Woods, who put the Eagles on a great postseason run, making all the way to the final game of the CBI final, and Herald leader recruiting analyst Ben Roberts. That's all coming up at 6 on 630 WLAP. Of course, Lee K. Howard was in Chicago last week for the McDonald's All-America game. Tonight at 6, he'll begin a preview, take you inside and give you a special look at each one of those 4 incoming UK recruits. That's coming up at 6. But for now, guys, that's a look at sports on this Monday.
All right, sounds like fun, and we'll give the Reds a chance to prove themselves, right?
That's right.
Okay.
And there's more to come in the next half hour of WKYT News at noon.
Ahead, police say a woman's seatbelt saved her life after her car flipped in a crash.
I'm Kristen Kennedy in Stanton. Coming up, you will hear from faculty who are dealing with telling students that one of their beloved teachers, a family resource center director, has passed away.
Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $57 million, and Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot is $148 million.